Hello and welcome back to Parish and Pub. I have a question that I ask myself pretty frequently, and now I'm going to ask you. What moves and drives the world? Just all of our society. From my office, I look out of the window every day and I see this. It's the endless crawl of traffic up and down the highway that bisects downtown Atlanta. All these people, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. Where are they going? What is driving all of these people? It's just an endless coming and going. And I imagine for every major city, it's the same way. Is it just individuals like me trying to survive, get a little ahead, maybe a few people even just trying to get rich? At what point does the motion take on a character beyond just the individuals and become, I don't know, something more, something machine-like? And if that's the case, then what drives this giant society machine and keeps it going and propels it on farther and farther? Before answering what does drive all of this, maybe it's worth asking what ought to drive us as people. I mean, our basic human needs are food, shelter, relationship, meaning, and I would probably say beauty as well. So the things that should justify all of our activity and effort would be the finding, growing, or hunting of our food, the building of our homes and shelters, whatever it takes to see, visit, and help our family and friends, so that's our relationships, the religious life of the cultists of, a society, a group of people, and the philosophical activities I discussed in my videos on leisure here. And so that covers meaning. And then there's the search for and the appreciation of beauty along the way, and whatever extra time and energy is needed to ornament, decorate, beautify, all of the above. In the parish and pub model, the pursuit of our basic needs means that what would keep everyone occupied would be the production of food for one's immediate family and maybe a neighbor or two if possible, a few specialized trades, skills, and industries that serve the immediate community, a robust integrated religious life of feasts, fasts, blessings, and the sanctification of life's various milestones, and the encouragement of higher learning for its own sake, not to be capitalized upon or commodified. But in the anti-parish and pub world, the production of necessities is no longer spread out to as many households as possible, but instead concentrated and made proprietary. Most people then, instead of being producers, become merely workers and simultaneously consumers. Those with excess means then invest their wealth in other projects and industries, expecting a return on their investment, of course, and soon entire industries pop up that produce nothing at all, but solely manage the wealth and investments of others. And then secondary and even tertiary tiers of speculators make markets, which bet on the success of those primary tiers, and these new markets get further and further away from anything real, true, or of human value. So, this speculative madness creates finally an entire system, an economy based on never-ending growth. And the economy and every business in it is only considered successful if it maintains growing profits year over year over year. Nowhere in this system is the idea of rest, of equilibrium, or of leisure. It only operates by interest, expansion, and exploitation. Jobs are desperate to grow year over year and make a profit so that they can compete and be seen as worthy in this broader economy. And so they increase the demands on their own employees while minimizing their wages, all in order to increase overall profitability for their already ultra-wealthy owners and or shareholders. The government, operating as a business in many ways, needs to show its growth too, so it increases taxes on these poor souls. The healthcare industry, a for-profit industry, increases medical costs and insurance premiums to show its growth. And the lie of constant growth, of competition as the basic paradigm of life, has spread all the way down even to the lowest tier of workers/consumers, and half these poor souls are probably overextending themselves solely for the sake of posturing and keeping up with, or ideally surpassing, the Joneses or whoever. But then the other half, who maybe aren't as interested in continual growth, are still forced to participate just to make ends meet. They have no other choice but to participate in this whole machine and to keep up the grind just to survive as monetary inflation continues on and the appetite of the system, the machine, grows more insatiable the bigger it gets. Appetite increasing size and size increasing appetite. But our Earth is a finite place. The 24 hours of day and night is finite. We are finite. And a model of endless expansion which depends on so many finite things is obviously bound to fail. That should be obvious to us all, but the machine itself is so good at distracting us, we who are both its slaves and food somehow, we're the consumers and the producers of all of its output, that we're often too busy or distracted or exhausted to be awake to its excesses and harms. You don't even have to be a student of history to know this pattern of excess will inevitably fail. You just had to have been alive and paying attention in, 2008, when the entire banking industry, another one of those industries which itself doesn't produce a damn thing, completely imploded after treating the very finite resource of housing as if it was infinite. And here's the point. It's a lesson we can take from the 2008 financial crisis. It was the people and institutions already at the top and encouraging the machine to keep expanding, which somehow weathered that crisis without getting hurt at all. This has been a pattern for a long time. And, over time we have gained terms like golden parachute and too big to fail that have allowed us to sort of name these abuses, a small victory to be sure, but it's done very little to change policy, to win over the hearts and minds of those at the top or even those in the middle, or to stop the machine. And so we grind on. And all of those echelons, those at the top who've completely identified themselves with the machine, those in the middle who are complicit in the overall economy of the machine, and those at the bottom forced into being cogs in the machine because they have very few other options if they don't want to see themselves or their families living on the streets without enough food to eat. Now, maybe these categories are a little simplistic. Maybe we don't all fit so easily into that admittedly curtailed story or image. But is it that far off, really? For everything that we could point to in our own efforts to not live according to the machine, can't we all still also point to ways we do live according to it or contribute it? Are we not all in some way complicit in this whole machine economy? But I'm not trying to play the blame game or make anyone feel bad. I am 100% complicit in this whole system too, and I don't know exactly what to do about it. I recognize it as bad. I'm one of those poor schmucks driving my stupid car in stupid traffic every morning to a giant steel and glass rectangle office building, yelling at people for not going when the light turns green and cursing when I hit a pothole that's been there for 10.5 months and griping when I have to park a block from the front door because there are too many people in this freaking city. But I'm one of them. So what do we do about this? What do I do? What do any of us do? I honestly don't know. I've articulated a basic model. I didn't invent it. It's been done before in various places and times, but it's what I call the parish and pub model, and it's basically, at its best, the medieval village. It's the ideal of Merry England. It's the town centered around the parish and the pub with strong personal and familial independence, but also a sense of communal responsibility, with meritocracy that rewards the best and the brightest without forgetting or abandoning charity towards the least, and especially with a balanced sense of duty, stewardship, and respect for the finite natural resources it has access to, and a balanced, harmonious recognition of where to draw the line between production and destruction. Now, I'm not saying this was ever the norm or inventing a history that never was. I'm just saying that there were a few examples of this here and there, of this type of community existing, and the ideal of this reality was cemented so deeply in our human hearts and occasionally still given expression in our stories and poems and songs and iconography as a reminder, a beacon to draw us out of this machine, this modern machine, this rat race. And the first of us who wake up will admittedly have a hard go of it, trying to figure out what we're supposed to be doing. But as more and more of us wake up, then maybe we have a chance to do something about it, to share strategies, to form communities, etc. I don't know. That's what I'm hoping for. That's why I made this channel. And if you're waking up just now, welcome and Godspeed. If you've been awake for a while, help us out. Leave some comments about what you're doing, what resources you found that could be helpful to others, and hopefully share a little encouragement with us as well. This cannot continue on the way it's going, this economy of destruction. We are finite and we will be exhausted sooner rather than later. So share what you found and help us out. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, God bless.